variety of 31 different fruits and vegetables. Balance of Nature provides you with a natural energy boost without a caffeine crash, a 3 o'clock slump, or an early bedtime. Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself by going to balanceofnature.com or by calling 1-800-2468-751 and use discount.
Greetings, friends. Welcome to the Clubhouse for this Wednesday, November 4th, 1490 AM, 105.5 FM, and WGCH.com anywhere. I'm Rob Adams. My partner, Mark Jeffers, across the way, virtually, of course, via Zoom. Mark, good evening.
Well, good evening. Happy November. Can you believe it's November already?
I cannot. It is amazing, isn't it?
It is truly amazing. I've got my... well, of course, we're on Zoom, so you can see my lovely winter sweater. But, yeah, the temperature's going to be nice, though, the next couple of days. So I'm looking forward to that.
So am I. It's supposed to warm back up. So nice time of year. November can be hit or miss, but I think we're going to be okay.
I know. And I see the handsome face of Dave Toromeo, who, of course, has to join us as quickly as possible because, Dave, we have so many things to talk about today. How are you, David?
I'm well, Mark. Thank you. Rob, hello. Bob, how's it going, guys?
Hey.
What a show tonight. What a show. We've had some changes. I know we were going to have some really, well, we have even wilder guests, even greater guests coming on. So I want to thank the producers for, the last minute changes, and especially Ottis O.J. Anderson, who came very late. I said, can you do us a favor because we were going to be preempted or whatever. And he said, yep, I'm going to be there. And also Hall of Famer Rick Barry is going to join us. So it's going to be a great, great show.
It's going to be a full show. We're going to be just fine, and looking forward to it. Again, you got a Hall of Famer and a guy who probably should be in the Hall of Fame. So I think we've got a good one on our hands tonight.
We'll definitely be talking about that with OJ because I believe he should be in the Hall of Fame. I want to bring him up after our commercial break. Before we do that, though, Dave, quick Manhattanville update, and also happy anniversary.
Oh, thank you.
30 years of wedded bliss for you.
I was married 30 years ago yesterday, November 3rd. In fact, when Rob was talking about the weather, we had a gorgeous day. It was like today, only warmer. It was just beautiful. And yeah, 30 years, 2 kids, still going strong. So knock on wood, all's good. Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations, Dave. Definitely.
Thank you.
You and your wife.
How she could put up with you is a whole nother story. Well, that's a whole nother show.
Hold that thought. We'll get going with more of the program in just a moment. We're just getting started. It's a Clubhouse for November on 1490 AM, 105.5 FM, and WGCH.com. We'll be right back.
All right, David, you can bring him in.
All right.
Dave, Mark, you bring us back from break. I'm going to do my thing here.
Okay.
Not funny. Yeah, I always thought he spelled his name with 2 T's.
OJ, how are you, man? Can you hear us?
He's wandering. I don't know if he can hear us. OJ, can you hear us? He's on his phone. Oh,
he might be having dinner. He wasn't supposed to come till 7:15, so we can just.
All right. Well, maybe he's just muted us.
Yeah. 7:15.
6 to 8 p.m. on 1490 WGCH.
Welcome back to the Clubhouse here on WGCH. We are live on November 4th, and I'm looking around, it goes around Zoom, Dave, which is always something that amazes me, because I'm looking and I see a good friend of mine, only because he's the best Giant I've ever known, the former running back for the Cardinals and my New York Giants. Ottis O.J. Anderson is a 2-time Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, and currently in business development for a really cool company, Metro Solutions. Welcome to this. Are you ready to come on? He's muted right now, so I want to make sure he's ready to come on at this early hour. He's there. Let's round of applause for O.J. Anderson.
There we go.
What up, guys? How y'all doing?
Hey, man, thank you so much for, I know we interrupted everything because we had some preemptions and stuff, so I'm so glad you could take the time to join us tonight.
I appreciate it.
So how are you? How's the family? How's everybody? Everybody okay during this crazy time?
Yeah, everybody's doing well, and you know, we trying to make do. We doing like everybody else in the world, one day at a time, and just trying to make do.
All right, so I have to, before I want to talk about your cool new job, which you're hanging out with some of my favorite Giants as well. But give us a little bit of your thoughts on the current Giant situation. You know, what's your thoughts on the boys?
Well, due to the fact that they didn't have training camp, they didn't have a typical year that everybody has when it's, you know, when it's time to you know, when you have training camp. So a lot of stuff you can learn, a lot of stuff you can get through with. And plus, this is Joe's first year, and he's been given a team that he don't know a whole lot about. So it's like learning on the run or on the fly. So right now, I think they're playing well. I like what I see. I like what this team direction is going, and I just know within about another couple of years when he could put his stamp on it, this team gonna be pretty darn good.
I'm hoping to your mouth to God's ears, because I'm hoping for that. I like that. So OJ, you got to tell me, you know, one of the greatest. I watched the Buffalo game. I remember the Super Bowl. Can you bring us back through that whole Super Bowl 25 season? And you know, you were named MVP. Tell us a little bit about that. That was such a great Giant year.
Well, you know, you're talking about roughly 30 years ago, and just the fact that we were there, it was Desert Storm. It was the last time that the great Whitney Houston ever performed such a great national anthem. So it's just so much history that goes back to Super Bowl 25, and the fact that it was in Tampa, Florida. And again, we were dealing with the Gulf War. So to actually have the game played was a surprise to a lot of us because they were thinking about not doing it. But Bush won, thought it was just a great idea. It was good for the country, so they made it happen.
I remember Bill Parcells, ball control, and you know, your MVP performance. What was Parcells like as a coach?
You know, people ask that question a lot about how was Parcells. Parcells was one of the best motivators that I've seen in my life. He had a way of getting players to perform way beyond your capability. He gave you the best opportunity to be the best you can be, and he always tried to put you in a position to be the best you can be. And if you listen and persevere, then you had a chance of really becoming a real good player for becoming one of Bill's guys, shall I say. But as far as a motivator, I have not met a coach that can do that to a team, and he did it very well. And I think Belichick got a lot from him, from the way he did that, and Coach Coughlin. You know, all of the what they call the spawns that fell off the tree that grew into great trees. You know, Parcells gave him the tools to do it with.
OJ, Dave Toromeo here. Thanks for joining us. Where are you physically right now?
I'm at Cedar Hill Country Club in Livingston, New Jersey.
Oh, you're in Jersey, okay.
Yeah, me and a couple of my friends, we just got done playing around on golf, and we had something to eat. And we sitting outside the fire. I'm gonna just show you where I'm sitting at so you can see.
Yeah.
These are my guys.
Very nice. Very nice.
These are my guys.
Yeah. Hi guys. Well, you had a beautiful day for sure to play around.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. I have a question. You know, I love when Mark gets great guests like you because it makes us do a little research. And going back and looking at your career, coming out of Miami, you with the St. Louis Cardinals. And now, you know, some people, maybe the younger audience out there will say this guy's a nut. St. Louis Cardinals. He either means the Arizona Cardinals or the Los Angeles or the St. Louis Rams. I mean neither. I mean the St. Louis Cardinals. You were a beast. I mean, for 3 years, you were, you were a tremendous player your whole career, but you came out of the gate smoking.
Well, again, I was blessed coming from the University of Miami right at 79 and having a chance to play for the Cardinals. And you're right, they were in St. Louis, not Arizona. And to currently hold all the records. I still hold all of the Cardinals record so far. And it was just great opportunities for me to have a start in my career. But most players don't get 2 careers like I did. My second career was with the Giants, and we know 2-time Super Bowl champion and 1-time MVP. But I must say, with the Cardinals, I was Rookie of the Year, League Most Valuable Player that year, and just a lot of good things start my career off and gave me the opportunity to make my name, other than O.J. Simpson, a household name that everybody appreciate.
That's true. All right, so I have to ask you this question because going back to the current Giants, you fumbled just 3 times, and I looked this in my research, and 739 touches as a Giant. Can you tell Daniel Jones, can you give him a call and just say, this is how you do it?
Well, you're talking about 2 entirely different positions. And also, I had a coach named Bill Parcells who said that if you were young, I can understand you fumbling and making mistakes. But you're in your 12th year of professional football. I don't need that on my team. And if you fumble the football, you are unemployed. Now, you tell me that's not a great incentive for not putting the ball on the ground.
By the way, how did you hit him golfing today? Because I want to go into golf for a second because you do a lot of charity work for golf, and I know you're very, there's a number of charities you represent, but how did you hit him today? And tell us a little bit about some of the charity work you do.
Well, again, I just try to get back. I was blessed coming out of West Palm Beach. I had a lot of mentors who took the chance on me and helped me out as I grew as a young man into a man. And one of the things that they stressed to me about is being able to give back to the community. So I've been fortunate enough to have combined my athletic and contacts that I met from athletics to help quite a few charities out. And then I have my own, which is O.J. Anderson Scholarship Foundation, which me and my business partner, Mark Goldberg, who's a guy who works for Veritex. And then I just got a lot of my friends who just helped me out. My frat brother, Keith Cressy, he helps me out. My chapter is Omega Psi Phi Fraternity. And we just try to do things. We just believe that we was given gifts and we're given opportunities. And the only way we can pay back these opportunities that we were given is to give to someone else. And that's what I've been trying to do, and that's what I've been doing. And as you said before, I have done so many charity events. Stephen and I was out in Bethlehem on Monday planning a golf outing to raise money for a charity that was giving kids who wanted to go to school opportunity to go to school by raising money for them. We're doing one tomorrow in Jersey City. It's one club golf tournament, 9 holes, where you pick one club and you got to play with it for 9 holes. And that's an opportunity to raise money. But again, I can go on and on, you see it in my resume. You see the things I do. You see the different organizations that I've lent my name to and have helped raise a lot of money, from Make-A-Wish to diabetes to cancer research. I mean, the list goes on. And I'm an ambassador for Nova Nordis in Princeton, New Jersey, and we deal with.
OJ, we're going to cut you off for 1 second. We have a quick commercial break. I want to come back to you because I want to talk a little bit about your the world with Metro. So we're going to come back in 1 minute. If you can hang out with us for 1 minute. Thank you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We'll do that. We'll take a break. We'll come back with more of the Clubhouse right after this on 1490 AM, 105.5 FM, and WGCH.com.
I called for help.
Hey, OJ, thanks, man. I know you're in the middle of dinner. I want to talk a little bit about Metro Solutions, and then we'll let
no problem.
Thanks so much for doing this, man. I appreciate it.
Not a problem.
What do you have for dinner? Because I'm hungry.
We had an assortment of all sort of food. I can't even tell you. We all had different things. The country club is unbelievable in Livingston, New Jersey. For those who don't know about it, I'm not sure where exactly we're being broadcast to, but in Livingston, New Jersey. This country club called Cedar Hill is one of the best country club around, and one of my best friends is the GM, and his last name is Weiser, and he just makes sure that me and my friends and the club itself is well represented. So it's just good to be here.
WGCH.
Welcome back to the Clubhouse for this Wednesday, November 4th edition. Rob, Dave, Mark, Bob, and O.J. Anderson. A thrill to be talking with him as well. Mark, I'll throw it back over to you.
Well, we're interrupting his dinner, Rob. So, during the commercial break, I'm asking OJ, what he had. He goes, it all sounded good. So we're a tri-state area. Radio Plus, we have national with Sirius XM and Sports Byline, OJ. So tell the audience a little bit about the club that you're at, because we give them a plug. That'd be great.
Well, like I said, Cedar Hill Country Club in Livingston, New Jersey. Just a beautiful place. Great 18 holes. My friend who's GM named Weiser, he is probably one of the best GMs, African-American GM, and he just really have the members just raving about how well the club is run, and it just speaks very high about what he has done for the club. Highly sought after guy. Everybody wanted him, but he chose to come here, and it's just been an uphill success for Cedar Hill in Livingston, New Jersey.
Cool. Okay, so you're the new business development guy, and I'm on your LinkedIn, and you do great videos with Metro Business Solutions and Tritlex. And I see some of the stuff that you're working with Mr. Mark Bavaro and a guy named Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about our audience about the whole situation with, because it sounds like a really cool technology. So tell our audience a little bit about that.
Well, we laugh because we say most people heard of 3D animation or 3D dimension. Well, we add 2 more Ds to that 3 and made it 5D. And what we've been able to do is take images of, for instance, the football helmets of all the 32 teams in the NFL. We've been able to put those on a acrylic or a plexiglass less than an inch thick, and has given it the shadow box look, where it appears that the picture is floating inside of a deep shadow box, but it's only 1/8 of an inch thick. So this perception of depth is unbelievable. And that is one of the hottest items going on right now. We were just on Home Shopping Network. We did it on a Friday. We were so successful that Home Shopping Network said we want you guys to come on Sunday prime time. So we've had 2 airings of our product, and it has sold out each time we aired it. And it's just beautiful. But there's so much more we're gonna do. That little bit right there is just the beginning of what we can do at Metro Solution. Or Tridelics is the company that we're so heavily involved with. Me, Lawrence, and Bavaro is Tridelics. And Metro Solution is a trade show company that has been building trade shows, booths all around the country for many, many years. And we know how that business has slowed down tremendously. So we're doing that mostly virtual. But we're really proud of the spinoff from Metro to what we're doing with Tridelics.
Very cool. No, I spoke to Phil about your product, and it's tremendous. And you know what? It's an excitement. It's I've seen the demo, and it's really cool. So congratulations on that. That's really good.
Thank you.
All right, Rob, did you have a question did you want to toss out to our friend?
I did, because I also remember you as a Cardinal, and I love those teams, but I obviously, being a New Yorker, saw the great stuff you did with the Giants, OJ. And so I just wondered about the differences between the 2 teams culturally. What was it like coming, from St. Louis over to the Giants?
Well, the Midwest mentality is where everybody's laid back, and if you want to merge on the road, they slow down and let you in and say, have a good day, and kind of wave to you. But then, you got New York, New Jersey. You trying to get in. Good luck trying to get in. So I went from people being so polite to people being like, shut up, get out of the way, and blowing their horns. And you know the kind of language New Yorkers and New Jersey guys have. So it was definitely a culture shock for me when I came from St. Louis to New Jersey and New York. I was kind of taken back. I was like, oh my God, do these people have manners here? I mean, but you know, this is what you learn quickly. You learn if you can't beat them, you join them.
What about the difference in football teams as cultures? What about the two different organizations?
Well, you know, the Cardinals were more laid back as far as the owner, Bill Bidwell was an owner that gave the team an opportunities, but not really gave us the tools we needed to be real competitive. But he did the best he could, and the relationship with him and all the other players, he was good to me and Roy Green and Lomax and Curtis Grill. I mean, we had a good relationship with him, but as a whole, totally different from the Giants. I mean, the Giant management was more free-spirited and more hands-on, where the owner, Wellington Mara, was always at practice. Always, we saw him walking around the field, keeping himself in shape. That's something you never saw with owners in St. Louis. Mr. Bidwell was not going to walk around the football field and care less of how we were doing. But Wellington Mara was in the locker room every day. Win, lose, or draw, he was there to greet us. I mean, he was hands-on, and you can tell that he really, really loved his team. He loved the players, and he was all for the organization and the relationship. So I tell people, I went from the outhouse to the penthouse, and I don't mean no disrespect from that. What I was saying was I went from one team who was laid back to one team that was aggressive and wanted to win and knew what it took to win. So that's what I mean by that.
Sure.
Wow.
Let's look at the career and the cumulative, because obviously, and we talked about it before you came on, but I mean, we're talking about, I mean, Rookie of the Year, multiple Pro Bowls, Comeback Player of the Year, Super Bowl MVP, two-time Super Bowl champion, the Hall of Fame, and you should hire Mark and the PR team that he works with, because you should be in, man.
This is the Clubhouse is supporting that. We want OJ in the Hall of Fame.
Well, that's why I continue to do these Zoom type interviews, because I want people to not forget me. I mean, you know, I think because I started the first 7 years of my career in St. Louis, and people don't know about that. I think they saw the last 7 years, which was the Giants, and part of the last 7 years, two of the 7 years, I kind of backed up Rodney Hampton. So they only saw me at the Super Bowl. And then after that, you know, my name and face wasn't really out there because I was in the backup role. So I'm with you guys. I got over 10,000 yards. I mean, 86 touchdowns. You tell me, Hall of Fame, I say it all the time, Hall of Fame. Tell me why I'm not in there. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. What did I do wrong that has not given me that opportunity? If you're looking at statistics and stats, well, all I know is a person that just got in there recently got way less yards and way less touchdowns than I do, but yet he's a Hall of Famer. So is it personal? I don't know. Is it because the people who knew about me are no longer alive, because you're talking about 7 years, 79 up to 86 when I got traded? So maybe those writers are not around, and the writers that are making those decisions are writers who are of the new millennium. And if that's the scenario, then I get it. But my peers who played against me, my peers who are in there, they know, they give me the respect. They say it as much as anybody else. They don't understand it. But I believe one day they'll figure it out. One day they'll get it done, and we'll see.
Yeah, it seems very arbitrary. I would agree with you, OJ. And I'm a Jet fan, so I think Joe Klecko should be in. Joe Klecko is one of the great defensive line. And I don't understand why he's not in either. But
I'll tell you one thing. The Clubhouse was fully supporting you, OJ, on this. And you know what? We talked to the writers, and because it makes no sense. I think you're absolutely right. They just forgot about the St. Louis years. But we're going to let you go. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think that's what they're basing it on, the fact that my 7 years in St. Louis. If you look at my 7 years with the Giants. Well, 7 years with the Giants, I got 200 something rushing yards. That I get it. If you basing that on that, I got 2,000 something yards since I was the Giants. 1 year I went over 89. I went for 1,000 yards, and prior to that, I had maybe 30, 40 yards. So I get what they're saying. If they're thinking that I'm not worthy for 7 years I had with the Giants, yeah, absolutely. You look at what I've done. I don't even think I got 2,000 yards total with the Giants for 7 years of work there. So it makes sense if they're going off that. But my career is a combination of 14 seasons where I had 2 strikes in the 14th season that I played. And I tell people all the time, I will put my stats, my first 4 years, up against any NFL running back that's in the Hall of Fame. And the reason why I say that, because in 82 we had a strike, 87 we had a strike, 85 I got hurt. I got 14 years, but I have 14 of consistently playing years. I look at Frank Gore. Frank Gore been playing 17 seasons straight. No interference, no strike, no setbacks. And he's one day worthy of being in the Hall of Fame. If you're going off statistics only. I don't think he was.
And also, you help people. So that's the other thing. I mean, in the whole, you have the double package plus that. We're running out of time. It's been great, OJ. Can you tell our audience where they can get a hold of either Metro Exhibits and your charity organization? Tell us where they can tell our audience where they can get a hold of you.
Anytime you want to reach out to me, you can go to ojanderson.com. Reach out to me. But for the product that I push, you can go to Tridelix.com, Tridelix, Tridelix.com, and then you got Metro Solution. We are located in Pine Brook, New Jersey.
We lose him?
Oh, thanks, OJ.
Thank you, OJ. Great stuff with OJ Anderson. We'll take a break here on the Clubhouse. We still have Rick Barry and a Clubhouse report to visit with. We'll do that and more when we continue after this on 1490 AM, 105.5 FM, and WGCH.com.
Unmute him.
I didn't mute him. He muted himself. Oh. I asked to unmute him. He must have hit it. He must have hit it when he was talking.
All right.
He was good, though.
I know.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, I liked him a lot. Yeah, he had 2,200 yards with the Giants. 35 touchdowns.
You can tell that's an issue for him, though.
He hurts, yeah, because he's getting forgotten for St. Louis.
Yeah.
Right.
He has 7,999 yards for St. Louis.
Well, it's
thank you, man.
Oh, there he's gone.
There he goes.
And he's gone. There he is. There he goes.
All right, we're back in 10 seconds.
Okay. 5-1 and be a part of it. That's doubleheader weekdays at 4 on 1490 WGCH and WGCH.com anywhere. Yeah, we're back on the Clubhouse. I'm taking a closer look at O.J. Anderson's numbers. He was also good out of the backfield catching the ball. I mean, the guy was – I remember him as a Cardinal. He was great. Okay, he didn't dominate with the Giants, but he won an MVP in the Super Bowl in one of the greatest games ever played. I think the NFL's doing him wrong.
Well, you know what? I'm going to bring this up again because I think, the Clubhouse, we have causes we like to go for. So this could be not a charitable cause, but an emotional cause. Because I think he's a really nice guy. He was a great interview. His charity work is tremendous. If you go on his website, you'll see he plays golf and he does appearances just to raise money for funds, for people who are less fortunate. So he's really a Class A guy. So.
And I think part of why he wants it so badly is for his charity work, because when you put Hall of Fame on your autograph, it holds that much more weight.
Agreed, 100%.
Is it band time?
Speaking of Hall of Fame, just a
That's
little joke.
Strike up the band.
Hall of Fame work here.
Let's go.
Strike up the band.
Dun, 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 dun.
The Clubhouse Report with your host, Mark Jeffers.
I still, every time I hear that, Bob, I always wonder, like when we interview guests, on Zoom or around call-ins, their applause is much louder than the applause for the Clubhouse Report. So we need to work on that lingo.
There you go.
See, now we're talking. Well, thank you, Rob, Bob, and Dave, and welcome to the Clubhouse Report. Well, at least one New York football team is competitive, but neither knows how to win. The Giants lost another heartbreaker on Monday Night Football to the Tom Brady-led Tampa Bay Bucks, 25-23. And Dave's New York Jets got clobbered by the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, 35-9. The Giants head to D.C. to find out who's going to win the election, and also to battle the divisional rival Washington Football Club with a 1 o'clock kickoff. And the Jets host the New England Patriots on Monday Night Football. Both New York teams having Monday Night Football is sort of interesting, with an 8:15 start at MetLife Stadium. All right, let's start with the Giants. Good effort. Daniel Jones, I'm not happy. He plays well, but then he makes dumb mistakes, and they keeps making them. He can't keep making them.
Let's bottom line it. As you look at young quarterbacks, are you jealous looking around the league? Are you happy with this guy as your quarterback?
I'm, he's 2 years now, so you can't bench him though, because there's some people in the papers are saying, our friends at the Post are saying maybe we should bench him. But you know what? If you bench him, I don't think he learns from that. Like put him in his bedroom because he's been a bad boy. Let's just keep playing him.
They love Justin Herbert in San Diego. They love Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. Tua might be a big deal in Miami, and the two New York quarterbacks are.
David?
Yeah, I don't think you bench him, but I do think he and Gettleman are both on the hot seat. I think if the season continues, especially those turnovers continue. It's an impatient league. It really is. Look at the Cardinals, what they did after drafting Rosen. They traded him for a 5th-round pick and just moved on and drafted Jalen. And the Jets might do the same thing with Darnold if they get the number 1 pick. However, think about this. Well, I'll let you go, Mark, and I'll come back.
No. We can continue because it's a very short Clubhouse report. Because I wanted to have this because I also want to talk a little about. I'm going to make a bold prediction.
Oh wow!
This one, you better, Bob, write this down because it could. Because I'm not sure they're going to.
Take it rolling.
Both New York teams win this week.
Ooh, wow.
Now, see? That's going to be headline news tomorrow.
But you know what?
I think the Patriots, I think Cam's in trouble up there, and you're playing a home game. And everybody can tell me about the Washington football team. I think we're better than them. So that's by the way, it's not that bold of a prediction.
Can we get this sound cut up for Tony Savino to play tomorrow morning on the news?
I'm just saying. All right.
I do think the Giants are going to win as well. And I think, it's interesting you said that about the Jets beating the Patriots, and I'll tell you why. I told my family, if Bill Belichick was really the evil genius we think he is, he would lose out the rest of the way. If he loses 2 games to the Jets, he's got 2 wins already. They will then draft over the Jets.
Yeah.
So if they both finish with 2 wins, the Patriots could actually draft Lawrence. But then again,
that's an interesting. No. See, David, I like it. All right, so we have it locked somewhere. All right, in the current college football rankings, we have Clemson at number 1, followed by Alabama, and Ohio State is rounding out the top 3. Big game for Clemson. They're playing without the Heisman Trophy potential and New York Jets or Giants first pick. He's still with COVID.
Or Patriots.
So I think, I don't know, do you think Clemson beats Notre Dame? Do you think
I do. Yeah, I do. I think they beat Notre Dame.
Rob?
Oh boy. You're asking about Notre Dame, right?
I'm asking Clemson, Notre Dame. They're playing this week in
that's
college
what I thought.
football.
That's what I thought. I think Notre Dame takes this.
Ooh.
I do. I think Notre Dame's playing pretty well. You got Clemson playing without without Trevor Lawrence, I'll take a shot at Notre Dame this week.
All right.
You know, the Clemson quarterback, the backup quarterback, true freshman. I think he's from Bridgeport.
Oh, is that Tyson Fulmanchon?
No, I'm not sure. No, but he's pretty good.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, though.
Yeah. So I'm looking for.
I like that pick, Rob. I mean, I still think Clemson's going to win the game, but
I'll take a stab. Why not?
Sure.
Where is that game being played?
You're asking questions that the research department is still working on.
Oh my God, it's at Notre Dame, and it's a 7:30 p.m. game. So, yeah, that's a good one.
All right, Chase Elliott, and this is for Bob Small. Because he knows Chase personally, I think. He took the checkered flag to win the NASCAR Cup Series Xfinity 500 at the Martinsville Speedway. Your thoughts on Bob? Do you like Chase Elliott? Is he a good driver? I think he's going to make the.
Yeah, but I'm just amazed that they did 500 miles on that little oval track, that little barrel of a track. Man, that's a lot of round and round and round and round.
So who's going to be the overall NASCAR champion if you had to make a since we're all, Bob, since we're all making predictions tonight, who is going to be your NASCAR champion?
Logano.
Joey Logano.
I could see it.
Yeah.
I like it. Actually, I'm okay with that. All right. Well, here's some stuff that you're all going to want to make some bets on. Turning to the MLS action, NYFC has moved into 5th place while the New York Red Bulls are holding down the 7th spot. But guys, the big news is that they both have qualified for the playoffs. Top 8. So I don't see I'm not sensing any predictions here. So over on the links. In Southampton, Bermuda, where, by the way, Sarah and I spent our honeymoon.
Very nice.
Thank you very much. Bryant Gay rallied from a 3-stroke deficit on the back 9 and went on to beat Wyndham Clark on the first extra hole to capture the Bermuda Championship. I've seen the Southampton Princess. They wouldn't even let me in the clubhouse. That was so nice. But that's okay. And on the Champions Tour in Boca Raton, Florida, Darren Clark shot a 17 under par to win the Timber Tech Championship, his first PGA Tour Champions victory. And that is the abbreviated because there wasn't a whole lot of reason. Clubhouse Report. Rob, back to you.
Outstanding for the length that it was, I might add.
Well, there you go. But now we can talk a little bit more about Manhattanville because Manhattanville is a great partner of ours, and we don't really talk about it because we have a great guest that jam in at 7. So now, David, I wanted to mention, we talked a little bit about this in our pre-production meeting. The sports program, the management program that we have is now available online. And I think that, since we are, obviously even greater than the tri-state area with some of the connections we have with Sports Byline, we have a potential for, a national master's degree in your organization. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure. Before I do that, though, I just want to say Clemson is a 6-point favorite over Notre Dame, and I will give Rob Adams that 6 points, and we can settle up on a later date for a beverage. How's that?
Deal.
All right. So on to your question. The Manhattanville College Sport Business Management program is a master's degree program. It's a 36-credit program. It's been around for 14 years. It was one of the original master's degree in sport management programs in the country. It has had cutting-edge classes such as role of an agent, esports, sports gambling analytics, baseball analytics. We have hundreds of alumni throughout the country, throughout the world, and the industry. And obviously with COVID, we have the reason we have done online and hybrid classes in the past, and Mark has taught some of them, Mark Jeffers. We like the networking component of what we do, and that's meeting people, guest speakers. We've had a who's who, including guys like Rob Manfred and George Bodenheimer and George Pine on campus. But in this day and age, and with COVID, we obviously have realized that this medium that we're on right now, the Zoom, for those of you listening on radio, we're also doing this via Zoom, is a viable media, and that we can do our classes. So if you, wherever you are in the country or in the world listening to this, if you are interested in the sports industry and getting a job in the industry and learning about it from industry professionals, then give me a call. Okay, Mark.
I've actually, to your point, I've talked to our friends at Sports Byline, and they're interested in promoting that. So I think it's important that the online factor, it's, although it was brought on by a terrible thing.
Yeah,
I think it could be viable for people who are looking for that degree.
Yeah, and truth be told, I've had people in the program in the past who have moved, who have gotten jobs in other areas of the country, and I've worked with them online. So it's not new to us, but we just never. I just don't see it as what we focus on as full time. But now we can do everything through our through Blackboard, obviously through Zoom, and I'm running a class right now, and sports manager Jim Millman, who was on the show last week, was on. I had Doug Perlman on last week. I have Amy Trask coming up. Amy is a Clubhouse guest and the first female executive in the NFL, and just a tremendous person to follow on Twitter or social media.
She is awesome.
Yeah.
Somebody we should have back on. She is just the best.
Yeah. In fact, the class is reading her book, You Negotiate Like a Woman. Or like a girl, I'm sorry, which she wrote. So, and she is tremendous. And so these are the types of things that we can do. And yes, we can do a full program online currently. And that's, it should be a benefit for anybody out there who's interested.
I also believe Amy Trask is working with the big three, again, depending on the COVID. And the reason I bring that up is because our guest coming up out of break will be Rick Barry, NBA Hall of Famer, but also a coach in the big three.
Yes, I think she is heavily involved with the big three.
So that was my transition. I like that.
That was pretty good, actually.
That was a tremendous segue, I have to say.
Thank you very much. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Just kidding.
No,
We're back.
We are coming back indeed with the NBA Hall of Famer, as Mark just alluded to. This should be a full Hall of Fame show, but we're working on that. We're working on the O.J. Anderson angle, so we're going to keep working on that one. But we'll have Rick Barry right after this as we continue with a November Clubhouse on 1490 AM, 105.5 FM, and WGCH.com.
David, is Rick, no, that's not good.
The first person to survive Alzheimer's disease is out there. And the Alzheimer's Association is going to make it happen. By funding scientific breakthroughs, advancing public policy, and providing local support to those living with
Hey, Rob, can you turn your microphone down a little bit?
Sure.
It's a little over modulating, just on the edge.
Sure.
Over modulated.
No, Sarah once said I was over modulated. That's a little humor in between.
Talking about something else.
Like it. It was
Oh,
good.
we had like live things? I forget that. I just texted him.
All right. We're 10 seconds away.
Book dynamic, upbeat guests. Check it out.
Debbie is heard at her new time, 11 till noon, every Monday through Friday on 1490 WGCH.
As we come back on the Clubhouse for this Wednesday edition, Rob Adams, Mark Jeffers, Dave Toromeo, Bob Small. By the way, I want to give a quick shout out, if I can, Mark, for 5 seconds. A thank you to my friends and colleagues, Dan Makem and Craig Jones, for allowing me to do the show tonight as I kind of double dipped this evening. So a big thank you to both of them.
Oh, of course. And they allow you to be on the Clubhouse, and we should have a round of applause for them.
They do deserve a round of applause.
All right, I see in the Zoom, of course, we're on radio, but I also see in the Zoom that we have Mr. Rick Barry, is an NBA and a college basketball Hall of Famer. He is widely and personally considered one of the greatest basketball players of all time, named one of the 50 greatest players in the history of the NBA. Barry is the only player to lead the NCAA, ABA, and NBA in scoring for an individual season. Rick, thank you so much. Welcome back to the Clubhouse.
Where are all those people cheering? I don't see them.
We're doing the virtual audiences you can't see that we can only see.
Who the hell are all these other guys that are on here? I know
there you go.
One of them's your engineer. I know that because I can see what he's doing. That's the most important guy.
But now you know, but on the phone, this is Rob Adams up here.
Rob and Bob. And
Bob is our engineer, and Dave. You got three guys asking you some fun questions.
Yeah, we've spoken before. Welcome back.
All right, Dave. All right. Dave.
So first of all, Rick, how's the family? Everybody's okay COVID-wise? You're okay? You're hanging in there?
Yeah, well, I mean, shit. I mean, COVID is just like another freaking flu. It'll probably disappear quickly now that the election's over.
And
it is a serious thing. Anytime anybody's dying, obviously, I'm not making fun of it. I mean, obviously, people have lost, loved ones and all as a result of it. But I mean, every other day, something comes out that they tell you, well, no, now you need to do this. Well, now you need to do that. So it was a learning process, and hopefully, we'll get back to some sense of normalcy, control this thing, cut back on the deaths, and try to get on to some sense of life here. But anyway, I don't want to talk politics for sure.
Oh, no. I was just checking on your family.
We're not going to get into politics, even though COVID is part of politics now.
Yeah. No, it was just more of a check up on your family.
Yeah, everybody's good. My son Kanya's actually here staying with me. He's waiting to go to start training and all to get ready for the Olympics qualifying tournament in 3x3 basketball. It's the only gold medal that the USA had never won before. And then last summer, he was lucky enough to be picked as one of the 4 members of that team, and they went over to Amsterdam and they went undefeated, won 7 games. He led the team in scoring 4 of the 7 games. They won the gold medal, and which was amazing to me. And you guys like sports. How in the hell can you win a world championship and not qualify for the Olympics the next year? I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, so they qualified to go into the qualifying tournament, and they were in LA working out when COVID hit. And so they obviously postponed it. Now it's not until the end of May over in Austria. And so hopefully they'll get themselves ready to go. And if they can finish 3rd or better, he may have an opportunity to become an Olympian. And that's the one thing that was my biggest disappointment in my career, is not getting a chance to represent our country as an Olympian. And if he gets that chance, it'd be awesome. He already had a chance to do it in the World Championship. And I have an incredible picture of him standing when the national anthem was playing, with his gold medal around his neck, and you could just see the emotion. He said it was one of the most emotional things that he's ever experienced. So that was kind of cool. So he's a great kid playing.
Well, no, see, if he's there right now, if Kenyon's right there, because I know he does the foul shots like you do. Yeah. We have a competition right now live, on the radio.
Well, I could still beat. That's the only thing I probably beat him at now. It would be the free throws. I'm still a little better than he is, but he's still 85 to 90. So he's very good at what he does, and hopefully he'll get a chance to do more with his career. And I wish he'd get a chance. I know for a fact. And when I talk about my kids, people have to understand. I'm not talking as a father. If you know me, my wife even said she loves me because I'm honest, but I'm brutally honest. She said you got to get the brutality out of your honesty. The honesty is my son is better than a whole bunch of guys that are on NBA teams sitting on the bench that don't play, who is a better all-around basketball player, but he just hasn't gotten the chance, hasn't been in the right place at the right time. And, it's one of those things. And he deals with it exceptionally well. Had a chance to go over to Turkey this year and didn't want to do that. The money wasn't good enough, and he didn't enjoy his experience overseas when he went and played in Europe and averaged 20 more a game. And then he went to China for a month, and they kind of hosed him, said, oh, try out. And then, if you're any good, we'll keep you. But they already had a guy ready to come a month later, and he went over there and scored 30 points a game on 60 from threes, 40 from 60 from twos, 40 from threes, 90 from the free throw line, averaging 30 a game. And they let him go because they had made it a commitment to somebody else. So his experience hasn't been great over there. And now he's playing in the G League for the Minnesota Timberwolves. So anyway, don't see, when you ask me a question, you got to be prepared for a long answer sometimes.
No, that's why we love having you on the show. You're one of my favorite guests. So, I want to quickly touch with the bubble. What did you think about the NBA and the Orlando bubble?
Well, I'll tell you the truth. I think the NBA should have kudos to them for what they did. They had no cases. They did a great job of isolating the guys and making it happen. And obviously they did that because they wanted to get all that TV money. And I thought it was terrific. I really did. The question I never got answered, and I haven't had a chance to talk to somebody who was actually there, was could they hear the crowd noise? Because whoever was doing it, and your engineer Bob can appreciate this, the job they did creating noise and stuff for that was absolutely fabulous. I thought it really was, from watching it on TV. Now being there in person is a little bit different, obviously, but I thought they did a great job. I really did.
Rick, we've talked about a lot of things over the years with you, and I think this is something we haven't really touched on. So as somebody who runs a sports business program, I'm interested. When we think of free agency and the fight for free agency in sports, people like us, we point to Curt Flood and what he did in baseball, but you actually preceded that fight.
Yeah, I was Curt Flood before Curt Flood opened up the doors for all of the players, because the NBA had the exact same reserve clause in their contracts, which basically was a contract of slavery. You signed the first contract, and the next year they offer you a contract and you don't agree on it, you're obligated to play for 90% of the amount that they had offered you the previous year. I mean, it was insane. So yeah, that did open up the floodgates and changed basketball for sure. And then Curt did that with baseball, and then obviously football got involved with the two leagues, and now they're paying outrageous salaries. I mean, I always, when I give speeches to companies and things at the end, we're having fun with question and answer things. One of the things I say, listen, now just remember this. If anybody out there finds the magic genie and you get 3 wishes, but they say you can't have money, and you really would like to have money, here's the deal. Just tell the genie that you want me to be 30 years old again, and I'll sign a 5-year contract and split the money with you, and there'll be plenty for both of us. And it's true. It really is. I'd get a $200 million contract. I'd give up $100 million of that if somebody can make that happen. However, I said, if things do change, I said, if you want that to happen, you're going to have to use 2 of your wishes. I said, because you're going to have to wish that my wife would be 28, because I don't want to be married to a old bag when I'm 30 years old.
Jeez. Hope she's not in earshot.
No, she's heard that. Listen, she's heard that many times before.
Oh, all right.
My wife is
so speaking of that, I was doing my research on you today, and so your first contract in the NBA, you negotiated it, and you had an interview with Bob Fitzgerald recently, and tell our audience a little bit about that negotiation, Rick.
Well, I was picked as the second player in the draft. I mean, this was the only time in the NBA history that they ever did this. They took the 2 worst teams, which happened to be the Knicks, who are back in that same mold right now.
I was going to say they're always the Knicks, but not always.
And they were the worst team in the Eastern Conference, and the Warriors are the worst team in the Western Conference. They flipped the coin. The winner got to pick first and fourth, the loser second and third, in order to try to help the teams at the bottom. Well, that's the one and only time that was ever done. So the Knicks took Bill Bradley, in which I never forgave them for, since I grew up and was a Knicks fan and doing stuff. And so I had many a good game against the Knicks, because I always remember that. And I always remember Ned Irish, the owner of the team, and those back in those days. When he was asked about why didn't they take me, he said, well, he's too skinny and flaky. Now, he may have been correct, but I didn't appreciate him saying that. And so I never forgot that. So I got picked, and I don't know for certain. Some people tell me that maybe they said Fred Hetzel's name before mine, or mine before Hetzel. I mean, the second and third pick, I mean, it basically was the same. But I was just wondering, if the Warriors only had 1 pick, would they have taken me over Hetzel? I don't know the answer to that question. So, but anyway, so I was picked then. And so I got they didn't have the big to-do here. Now, I was actually going back and doing something and making an appearance at my high school in Roselle Park, New Jersey, when the draft was going on, right? They didn't bring the players in and have all the hoopla they have now. And, it's good, because I couldn't afford, to go and get a fancy suit like all these guys get. But and I said, okay, great, I'm here, whatever. And Bob Ferrick, who was the general manager of the team, said, well, just want you to know that we draft you, blah, 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 and everything. And, we'd like to offer you a contract to play and all. And I said, well, what do you offer me? $12,500. And I had to make the team. Wasn't guaranteed.
Wow.
Okay. And so I felt pretty good. I negotiated it myself. I got it up to 15. And actually got a $3,000 signing bonus, which I used to go on my honeymoon. So I said, wow, this is unbelievable. And here's the deal, $18,000, 15, but it was not guaranteed. So it's a little bit different. I said, yeah, the only problem that happened back then, they just forgot 3 zeros somehow. I don't understand how that happened, but that's kind of the way it went. And I never did hear that word $1 million in my contract negotiation in all the years I played. In fact, so people understand the difference. I get so many calls. People think because I played in the NBA, I'm this like multi-millionaire. And I got all these deals. And so all I do is put people together and try to make some money off of that. But it's kind of crazy. I mean, the amount of money that they pay these guys it's just insane. I mean, $15 million, I mean, $200 million guaranteed when you do it. But I was happy as a pig in slop. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I said, this is unbelievable. Somebody's paying me $15,000 to play basketball. This is amazing. So I was pretty thrilled with that. And so it was great. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I mean, you know, it'd be nice to be making 15 million or 20 million or whatever the heck, or 40 million a year, which is just beyond my comprehension. But it wouldn't change the way I played the game. I mean, not at all. I mean, I never thought about money when I played. I just love playing. I absolutely love playing. When I hear these guys complaining, and now I was just on a show with somebody and they said, well, what do you think of the thing now? You know, some of the guys are not happy that, you know, it's a short time off and they got to get back to playing, you know, like before Christmas maybe, and, you know, start in the beginning of December or training camp. And I said, what? I said, complaining about what? I said, most of the teams have been off for a long time. It's only a few teams that were playing this late. And so what? At least you're in pretty good shape. You haven't gotten out of, you know, a lot of shape. You're making multi-millions of dollars and you're going to bitch because you only got off 6 weeks before you had to go back to work. I said, what about the everyday person who's out there busting their hump for 8 hours a day or more, plus all the commute time, not making anywhere near the kind of money that you made? And they wouldn't make that much in their lifetime in one season. And they get 2 weeks vacation. I said, I don't want to hear that crap.
Oh, you're right. So our time is quickly dwindling, which is unfortunate, but I want to know, what's going on in your what is going on in your business world? Anything we should know about promotion wise?
Yeah, I wish I have a lot of things going on. I have a company called RBC 24 Brands, which I'm coming out with something and doing something in the medical health field. A company called Julia Life Centers, which is great to help you take care of yourself. I try to take care of myself as best I can.
You look good.
And I feel great for somebody my age. I tell people I just can't jump as fast or run as high, but I don't feel any different than I felt when I was 50 years old. So I feel terrific. A lot of things in that area. I'm doing something with we're talking now to the government to do some stuff for our veterans. I'm trying to get veterans off the street. We're trying to do something to help them out, a thing called MedSign with the Cortex system that you can be on your television at home, and older people and children can get tele-ed on there. They can get education directly through their television. Same thing for people for health care benefits, elderly who can't use the internet, don't know how to use smartphones. They just push their button on their TV. That's pretty exciting. And then a thing called BAM FX, which is an incredible agricultural product that not only does it increase the yield for products, but it has disease mitigation, which no other product has. So a lot of very exciting things going on in my life right now. A plastics company that's going to change the world, not biodegrade, bioaccumulate. Totally.
Well, Rick, I can't again. I'm sorry. We will have to have you on again because we didn't even get a chance to talk about all the entrepreneurial stuff you're doing, and also, a great Hall of Famer, great friend of the Clubhouse, Rick Barry. Thank you so much for joining us.
All righty. Well, take care. Always fun to talk to you. Stay well, everybody.
Thanks,
Stay
Rick.
well.
Thank you.
Bye.
That'll do it for this edition of the show. We are back in 2 weeks. Doc Emmerich among the guests that night. We're looking very forward to that. We thank O.J. Anderson and Rick Barry for joining us on this edition. I'll see you back on Doubleheader, and we'll see you, like I said, November 18th. See you then, Mark.
Looking forward to it.
All right. For Bob Small, Dave Toromio, Mark Jeffers, I'm Rob Adams. Thanks for listening to the Clubhouse, 1490 AM, 105.5 FM, and WGCH.com. Stay safe. We'll see you next time. Good night, everyone.
AM 1490 and
Wow.
That's actually a good show.
It
Jeez.
flew, though.
It did fly.
I always hate when Bob says it's actually a good show.
Well, because you lost guests and you still put together a great show.
Bob is always surprised. Bob's always shocked when the show is.
I know. I'm often shocked as well, Bob, so it's okay.
By the way, I was going to bring this up, but we were running out of time. Do you guys know what O.J. Anderson and Rick Barry have in common?
They like to talk.
Okay.
Go ahead.
They both went to the University of Miami.
Oh.
All right.
Well, there you go.
And I was going to ask him how he, from Jersey, wound up there. But like you said, we'll have him on again.
We'll get him
Yeah,
back.
I mean, he's not a bad. He's good. I mean, good. If we have photos, we could use those.